What is good, people? Satsuki the Reactor here to live react to Fruits Basket, the final episode 8. Now, before I start anything, I want to say first, I am tired and a little under the weather, so I may sound and look different, but it's not a big deal. I also want to say that we pretty much got confirmation that this season will be 13 episodes, which is very worrisome. I've been told by manga readers that this was supposed to adapt a third of the story just like the previous seasons. So when you go from 25 episodes to cut it in half pretty much with 13 episodes, yeah, I'm gonna be a little scared. So if they try to finish the story with this season, things could get ugly. They may have to cut out so much content, which would leave me like, oh my god, I gotta read the manga, don't I? And I ain't gonna lie, the manga art is unappealing to me. That's just the shoujo art style that I'm not fond of. But I love Fruits Basket, so I would go into the manga if they cut out that much content. But I just don't want to see this story fumble at the very end when it was pretty much avoidable. I mean, we did the first two seasons well from what I've been told. And then you get to the last season, you fumble. I don't want to see that happen. I don't want this to turn into the Promised Neverland. Maybe it'll do something like Attack on Titan, which the last season was advertised as the final Attack on Titan season, but it's like we're getting part 1 of it and we're going to get part 2 later. It's weird how they did that. Maybe they can do that with Fruits Basket, or maybe they can adapt what they can adapt and turn the last bit of unadapted material into a movie or something like that. One of those two, if everything about 13 episodes is true. So yeah, that's what I want to say. Please don't fuck up Fruits Basket, please. All right, but pertaining to the actual content of the episode itself, last episode we left off with a lot of drama between Akito and Rain, and we learn more about their backstory, which also gives us more information about Akira. Very good stuff on that side. But the very last thing we seen at the episode was Kyo and Tohru. So as I said in my last live reaction, I expect Kyo to be a dick. He runs away from his problems. He always pushes away people when he's being boxed in a corner. So I think Kyo is going to be pretty bad in this episode. He may like turn a lot of people off right now. So I guess we'll see. But let's get started. So you see Kyo trying to leave out in the rain, which is a very bad sign because we know how Kyo and the cat spirit treats the rain. They're very sluggish around it. They don't like the rain. And for Kyo to go out now, it seems very suspicious. I think I said in my last live reaction, I think this parallels to when Kyoko left Tohru on both occasions. One, where she was depressed about Katsuya. Second, when she didn't come back and, she actually died. And I think this scene is to give Tohru the chance to do what she couldn't in those 2 moments, which was pull that person back in. Maybe she'll be unsuccessful, but at least she'll have the attempt, because she couldn't bring Kyo back the first time. She couldn't bring Kyo back the second time. I think she was asleep that time. And now we have this scene right here. Kyo's wearing the all black, so he's emo Kyo. Please laugh at me. Do you love me? This is not how we wanted the confession. So that was a fucking lie. I mean, things changed. Now he's not even taking the umbrella. I don't know if this means anything, but we know Akito is running around the Soma estate barefooted out in the rain. And I always talk about the parallels between Tohru and Akito, and Tohru is also running out barefoot in the rain. I don't know, it's just cool things to notice sometimes, even if they may be stretches. Okay, he's talking about Kyoko right now. If he would have helped. Okay, oh my god, we're actually learning what's happening. Okay, so that's one thing I've always been wondering. How did Kyoko and Kyo approach each other? It would have been very weird for Kyo to make the first move, because we know how he was back when he was younger. But I think how they did this was like, it makes sense. Seeing a little kid with orange hair, and then you also have orange hair, you're like, hey, yo, you're too young to dye your hair. I think that's a good like icebreaker to get these characters to interact with each other, because I'm just like, it's so odd that Kyoko just approached this little kid. Like, what was the reason? But okay, I got it now. And it's funny too because I think that's one of the first things Utani thought about Kyo when she seen him. Like, is his hair color natural? That's not something you tell a kid you're about to get kidnapped. Kyoko like, damn, this kid got a lot of baggage. I was just trying to talk about sports. That sounds, oh my God. Okay, I can't fucking read. I'm kind of a fucking idiot. I read this initially as that sounds lovely. I was like, and then I heard the music, the dun 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 dun. I'm like, wait, why are you calling his trauma lovely? Okay, lonely. Much better. Okay, my bad. So he immediately didn't want to say his name because it sounded similar. Oh no! Kyoko got the pigtails! Kyoko got the pigtails! Listen, man. Listen. Kyoko's my favorite character, alright? So when we see a different side of Kyoko, hey, I didn't expect pigtail Kyoko. And we eating, boy. Yes, sir. Now we see where Tohru get her style from, man. You already know what, man. The progenitor right here. Something special. She's like, hey, this is Tohru. Go ahead and marry her in the future. All right. Gotta set things up. Okay, this is when Tohru's missing. So I guess this is before the police came. So I wonder if he actually seen what happened with Yuki, since he was also searching for Tohru this day. So this is further added on to the feeling of inadequacy. I think that's how you say that word. That Kyo feels, not being able to find Tohru on that day either, since that was his promise. And if he knows what happened with Yuki helping with that Tohru situation, that also adds on to his like inferiority complex with Yuki. You know, knowing that Yuki was able to keep a promise that, or it wasn't a promise for Yuki, but he was able to keep Kyo's promise. So, okay. So yeah, he does know. He didn't see it go down, but because he saw the hat, he immediately knows. He sucks. And Kyo is such a kid in this scene. Understandably so, of course. I'm not complaining. I think that's something what Kyoko just said about, you know, you want him to be the bad guy. I think that's something similar to what Shigure said to Kyo. I feel like it was Shigure. I think the whole point with that, though, is that having Yuki be this bad person actually motivates Kyo. And it also helps him avoid his problems, because when you think that Yuki is lucky, you don't really try to look into anything that actually goes on with him. You know, it allows you to put like everything on this one person, and it's kind of like what they do to the cat spirit, and of course by extension Kyo. So I think it's just it's like a game of old maid where everybody's trying to push the Joker on a different person, you know, until there's one final loser. Yo, Kyoko really raised at least 3 characters, and you could kind of say 4 because she also did help out with Hana, but she raised Tohru, of course that's her daughter, raised Utani, basically raised Kyo. Man, the ultimate mom is here. Damn. Oh no, nah, Kyo, I can't ride with you, Kyo. Can't ride with you for that, dog. Don't touch her. Do not touch Kyoko. And then you call her a traitor? Damn, man. Kyo was really... The hatred for Yuki was so paper thin. Like, it had no real reason to exist because he didn't know Yuki at all. Like, at all. Like, if you looked any deeper into that situation with Yuki, you would have realized, like, he is not what I thought he was. So he didn't see her until the day of her death after that incident. Oh my God. Okay, so that's how it happened. So, yeah. Like he said, he pulled his hand back when he could have saved Kyoko because he didn't want to transform. Even then, like, okay, Like I understand it, it's for dramatic purposes, but I feel like there could have still been something that Kyo could have done other than, like grab her and pull her close. Like he could have like pushed her out of the way or something like that, or like at least shouted to her like, yo, car, something like that. But it's for the sake of the story. I'm not really going to try to think about that, but that's how it went down. And it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense because the whole cat zodiac thing is something Kyo was very insecure about still to this day. So he didn't want to, like he said, he didn't want everybody to know that he was not human. And I wonder how that would have went down if he did transform. Like, would he have immediately been locked up? Because it's one thing for Yuki to expose the Soma secret, and when he did that, it was just with it was like a whole bunch of little kids. But if Kyo were to do it in broad day with all of these adults, where they probably would find it hard to like find everybody who was there, they would have probably just locked Kyo up immediately after that. So there was a lot of riding on that moment, actually, in fact. So you understand why Kyo has that guilt of not helping Kyoko, but at the same time, like, he's not the one who to kill her. He could have helped, obviously, but yeah, we get it now. And what happened to the damn taxi driver? Did they just hit her and just keep going? Like, they killed a whole like, what happened to that guy? Because Kyo's the only one that's standing over by her, but like nobody was there, like nobody was going to help. There was a lot of people there, and then when the car just came, they just ran and never looked back. They just kept running. So it's not funny, but it's like, what happened to everybody else? Because the way it was, like, the way the scene was presented, it seemed like Kyo and Kyoko were like isolated almost, and a car just happened to hit her. But there was a lot. It was a busy street, and then like everybody just disappeared when she got hit. What happened? I go easy on myself and run away every damn time. I actually thought Kyo was going to be very apprehensive in this episode. Like, he's going to push Tohru away, but he's a lot more vulnerable than I thought he would let himself be this episode. We still have a whole second half left, but I'm surprised. I wonder how Tohru's going to react to all this. Usually with a moment like this, Tohru would do her normal Tohru thing and talk to that person, make them feel better about themselves, show them their self-worth. But this is a special case. It has something to do with her mother, who, that was her number one at once upon a time. So I don't know how she's going to react to this news. Oh no. Them showing Akito in this shot. No. Akito is going to Shigure's house. Which means she's going to meet up with Tohru. Which means Tohru's going to get hurt. Either we're going to leave on a cliffhanger where Akito sees Tohru, or Tohru gets hurt this episode. I think there's no in between, because them showing Akito running around right now and she's not in a Soma state, she's definitely going to Shigure's house. Like, where else would she go? And she still has the knife. Kyo no. Like, hey man, Kyoko just built different. But Kazuma, you not worried about that? Like, is this person an adult? Like, who is this weird person? Okay, so that was another thing that was up for speculation on whether Kyoko said those words, "I'll never forgive you," whether she said that or not. Kyo saying she said that, but then he also said that's what it sounded like. And as I was saying before, due to the nature of how his mother died, it wasn't a car accident, it was a suicide, but she died via like a truck or a car, whatever it was. So I feel like he's mixing things up in his mind and twisting her words that she may have said into that. I don't think Kyoko said that, because it just wouldn't make any sense. It wouldn't make any sense in my eyes. I wonder if we'll learn what she actually said. What just happened? Okay, there are the people. And this is when Kyo's going to go to the mountains. So he decided, yeah, I'm finna blame Yuki. Yo. Oh my goodness. The rat stole all my hope. So Kyo deflected hard. Jesus, man. That was his only defense mechanism. It's crazy too, but that's probably the only thing that kept him living in that moment was to blame Yuki, because if he looked at how, if he looked at things objectively, even if it's like not his fault per se, he's still going to feel guilty about it. And that may lead him to suicide. So him blaming Yuki kept Kyo alive. Okay, so that's when they made the bet. Yo, Kyo said, you giving me another reason to hate Yuki? Let's go. He was in that Dougie. Yes, sir. Tohru look kind of angry. Look at Yuki when your mama and your stepdaddy fight. Yeah, Tohru like, cap. My mom didn't say that. She said, fuck my mama's wishes. Oh no, what did I say? What did I say? So, oh my God, this is so bad. This is so unbelievably bad. Kyo's running off. Yuki's running after Kyo, which that's going to lead to a great talk between those two. We got a glimpse of that at the end of season 2 when they were talking on the staircase at school. But I think this might be like the final conversation to where they both come to an understanding of their perspectives, because that's all it really is. Kyo believes that Yuki was this privileged kid who had everything handed to him and everybody loved him. We know that's not the case. And probably Kyo knows it as well, but he hasn't accepted it because he needed that person to hate. And Yuki hasn't really hated Kyo. At least it was more so with Yuki, it was more so a reaction to Kyo. But, he calls him stupid cat, so it's bad on his side as well. But that final talk between those two, oh, that's going to be heat. That is going to be heat. But with Kyo and Yuki gone, there is no one to protect Tohru. You left the king on the chessboard alone. The queen is gone. The rook is gone. The knight is gone. Because Shigure ain't gonna protect Tohru. If he did, I'll be shocked. Tohru and Akito are alone, bro. Oh man, God, things are gonna be bad for Tohru, man. That's the end of the episode. Make sure there's nothing after the credits. All right, man. Let's get into my afterthoughts. So the first thing I want to say is that if this is supposed to be 13 episodes and we're supposed to conclude the story with this season, then honestly, right now it's not showing signs of that. We're on episode 8, so we have 5 more episodes left, but that episode felt well paced. We pretty much just had the conversation. The bulk of it was Kyo and Tohru talking. It didn't feel rushed or anything to me. That's just from an anime only perspective. Maybe things are different in the manga, but that episode felt very well paced. So it gives me hope that they're not going to just try to fuck everything up and just abandon the season and just say, yo, this is it, this is all we got, and just try to cram everything in there. But man, that was a spectacular episode. Gave a lot of insight to Kyo and what he's been feeling, and we got finally what I still don't think it's the full story, and maybe they'll leave it ambiguous, but Kyoko's last words of "I'll never forgive you," I still think that's cap. I don't think it's true. But if they leave it ambiguous, I wouldn't be too mad at it, because then it'll give you the thought of, did she really say that in her final moments, or did Kyo imagine that she said it because of how scrambled his mind was with that traumatic event? That's an interesting question. So I wouldn't be mad if they left it ambiguous. I wouldn't be mad if they just explicitly told us what she said. I don't really think it matters right now, but yeah, it's an interesting thing. But Tohru rebelling against what her mother possibly said shows you that, yeah, Kyo has overtook her mother as the most important, the most precious, her treasure. He is that person for her. It's like, she's like, you know, if my mother said that, then, well, I'm not my mother, so I'm gonna have to forgive you for that. Again, it just shows you how much she cares for Kyo. I'm surprised Tohru herself didn't chase after him in that moment, but it was a lot to take in, so it's understandable learning about her mother's death, because I'm pretty sure she didn't know the fine details of everything, especially not the side of Kyo being there until this very moment. And in fact, she didn't know that Kyo and Kyoko knew each other, which is kind of weird because it makes sense for Kyo not to mention any of that, but for Kyoko to never mention that she's been spending her time, because she spent, it's not like she just met Kyo once, she met him multiple times. For her to not divulge that information to her daughter, like, yo, I met this orange hair weird kid, you know, that, I don't know, that's a little weird for Kyoko, because she's very open with her daughter. She tells her a lot of things, but whatever, I guess. The confrontation between Akito and Tohru, nothing good is coming out of them meeting each other. I said it before, once those two meet, Akito is going to hurt Tohru. Whether it's with a knife or something else, she's going to hurt Tohru. Plain and simple. Plain and fucking simple. Especially with her mindset right now. She already stabbed Kureno, who that's her man's. Not in a romantic sense, but she had Kureno following her around like a fucking Pokemon in the back pocket. And he didn't even need to be there. And she knew that, and she still stabbed him. So what you think she's going to do with Tohru? She's at Shigure's house. She's a girl. We know how Akito feels about women in general. She's been meddling when she wasn't supposed to. Akito will probably blame Tohru for a lot of the events that's happening right now. With the curses being broken, she'll probably feel that Tohru is the catalyst for all of this. So there's a lot working against Tohru in this moment. Oh my goodness. And the fact that Kyo and Yuki are away, there's no one to protect Tohru. So she's going to feel the full brunt of Akito's wrath, I feel. So next episode we should have some carnage. We should have a bloody Tohru, possibly. Don't think she'll die or anything like that, but I think Tohru's going to get fucked up. Akito's going to catch 2 bodies, 2 packs, and it's going to be catastrophic. No pun intended with Kyo. But I think that's pretty much all I want to mention, because it's not that much to talk about, because a lot was focused on that conversation between Kyo and Tohru. Really wasn't a conversation, it was more of a monologue, because Kyo was the main guy talking. I was wrong about Kyo lashing out against Tohru. He ran away from her and said that he was disappointed in her, but I thought he was going to be a lot more volatile and angry. But he was vulnerable, and, you know, he just let out his feelings. I didn't expect that. I thought that he was going to be a lot more guarded, but, you know, he proved me wrong. So yeah, that is all I want to talk about with this episode. Great episode. But guys, that is it for me. Like, comment, subscribe. I am Satsuki the Reactor, and I am out.